appears that Representative Madison Cawthorn is having a pretty bad week. In fact, according to a conservative outlet, he is in violation of the Stock Act. Now, look, the Stock Act, I talked about this before. It's actually a very seldom enforced anti-insider trading law. Now, that briefly made news and then kind of disappeared during the pandemic. And look, you had a lot of both Democrats and Republicans, about 59 in total, congresspeople that had made some pretty suspicious trades that netted them or saved them millions and millions of dollars. This is, of course, when, using this private, this information that the public did not have in order to make trades that helped them. And of course, it involved people like Richard Burr, Kelly Loeffler, Tommy Tuberville, Rand Paul, Mark Kelly, it was a Democrat, Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat, Dianne Feinstein. Again, a mix of Democrats and Republicans that had made some, again, very shady trades before we knew the extent of how bad COVID was. And so, of course, some of them made investments in things like, I don't know, things to help people work from home, like, for example, Zoom, companies like that, telecommunications companies, investments in cleaning supplies, things like that. And so it was before that we knew how bad COVID was going to be. So that's where there was the allegations of insider trading. They had this information because they had been getting these briefings about how bad COVID was. And had this information before anyone else did. So that's why, of course, there's a lot of progressives that are saying, hey, we should ban congressional stock trades because we've got all these Congress people that are doing insider trading that is corruption, that is an unfair advantage over the average person. Now, that said, did anybody get really punished for this? No. And did it really make news? A little bit, but not too much. Now, here's the thing. Madison Cawthorn, interestingly enough, and this gets back to how much attention any of this insider trading stuff had gotten, especially in conservative press, right? Well, Madison Cawthorn has been accused of insider trading and has been singled out by the conservative press. So let me give you the details on that. Now, this has to do with cryptocurrency, right? And specifically his investment in a meme coin called Let's Go Brandon Coin. You remember that? Now, the leader, of course, the creator of the coin is being sued by people for it allegedly being a pump and dump scheme. So, now the purchase of the coin, created by James Catullus, appears to have happened in late December, according to Cawthorn's Instagram profile, which, of course, he had been publicly touting that coin. That was around the time that NASCAR driver Brandon Brown announced on December 30th that the meme coin would be the primary sponsor of his 2022 season. So, again, this is classic pump and dump, right? That endorsement and all of the hype around this coin, this meme crypto, actually raised the value of about 75%. Brown's statement featured comments from Catullus, who was pictured with Cawthorn just a few hours prior, right? Now, so again, pump and dump, this is how it works. You get celebrities, you get political figures, they come in, they hype up the coin, there's all of this marketing, and that drives up the value. People think, oh my God, this is valuable, we're gonna buy into it, right? Now, of course, the people that are touting this either already have investment in it, very likely that they do, and so when more people buy into it, the value goes up, they make more money. And then when it gets to peak, they sell it, they dump it, and that causes the value to crash. They make a ton of money, but the people who invested later, well, they're left holding the bag. And so that's what happened. Immediately following Brown's December 30th announcement, the value of the coin eclipsed $570 million. By the end of January, the market cap of the meme coin dropped 100%. It is now worth nothing. Nothing. Now, Catullus said on February 20th live stream that two factors led to LGB coin's precipitous decline. First, NASCAR had rejected the sponsorship deal with Brown on January 4th. And then later that month, unidentified insiders that owned an outsized share of the coin, and this is where pump and dump comes into it, they dumped all of their holdings all at once. Completely obliterating the value. Interesting. All at once, you say? Now, very curious. Now, was Madison Cawthorn one of those insiders that had dumped the coin? I don't know for certain. Now, that's going to be quite a relevant fact to whether or not this is insider trading. Now, multiple watchdog groups told the Washington Examiner that Cawthorn's December 29th Instagram post suggests that he may have had advanced non-public knowledge of LGB coin's deal with Brown. That's Brandon Brown. So that, of course, would make the value go up. If he had inside knowledge, then wouldn't he have inside knowledge of everything else, allowing him to, again, make money on the pumping of the coin and then save money on the dumping? And again, we're talking about dumps.
Dumps.
You know.
Big, massive dumps.
But that's what's happening. They make money from the dumps. All right, now, the watchdogs also said in the post, combined with Cawthorn's statement that he owns LGB coin, warrants an investigation from the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission to determine whether he had violated insider trading laws. Well, again, failing to disclose is already a crime, a violation, right? But if he did actually make money from the information that he had, again, that's even worse. Now, if he held it and lost the value, which is why it's important to know if he still has this coin, it wouldn't be insider trading, but he still would be an idiot for buying into a meme coin and losing all of his money. So that's important, right? Now, even though he would lose all of his money, he still also failed to disclose and would end up being fined a minimum of $200. Now, that said, the House Committee on Ethics could grant him a waiver to where he didn't have to pay that fine. So it just kind of shows you that these Congress people still get an advantage. Because even if they're found guilty of insider trading, they could still be absolved from having to pay the fine. Amazing. So now the most interesting part about this, though, is the timing, right? Now, it just happens to have came after Madison Cawthorn got himself into trouble, especially coming out and saying that he was invited to cocaine-fueled sex parties by Republicans. It ain't Democrats doing that. I mean, they're probably having parties as well. Oh, God. I just got a terrible image in my head. You think Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are having those kind of parties? Ooh, I hope not. But if they are, I mean, they are. Have at it. Have fun. But I just don't want to imagine it. Yikes. Still, all right. I know it happens in Washington. By the way, we all know it happens in Washington. So this is why it's actually not surprising that Madison Cawthorn had heard about it. I doubt this guy's getting invited to all those. He probably heard about it and was like, oh, man, I wish I was invited. But, you know, they won't invite me, so I'm gonna rat on them. Now, Kevin McCarthy, that led to him having, of course, a very stern conversation or lecture from Kevin McCarthy about this. And so, all right. Now, that said, this is the Washington Examiner. This is a conservative outlet actually reporting on a Republican doing possible insider trading. That almost never happens. And of course it has something to do with him embarrassing the Republican establishment. Madison Cawthorn is getting in trouble for doing things that Republicans do. Again, it's important to note that in February, Cawthorn had also introduced a resolution that would have helped himself, that would deregulate crypto and incentivize blockchain innovation. So, just like other Republicans, he has introduced legislation that would help him, his finances personally, his personal financial situation. Again, Democrats and Republicans do that all the time. So then why are they pointing this out? Again, it's the embarrassment. In fact, now you have Republicans, establishment Republicans, on the warpath. The Committee on House Ethics, for example, according to a Republican senator, could involve itself. He said insider trading by a member of Congress is a serious betrayal of their oath. And Congressman Cawthorn owes North Carolinians an explanation. There needs to be a thorough and bipartisan inquiry into the matter by House Ethics Committee. This is Tom Tillis, by the way, a Republican from North Carolina, who has endorsed his primary opponent. Cawthorn's non-disclosure of his stated purchase raises serious questions of whether Cawthorn violated the law, according to Kedrick Payne of the Nonpartisan Campaign Legal Center, who previously served as Deputy Chief Counsel of the Office of Congressional Ethics. The lawmaker should explain the discrepancy because the public has a right to know that their elected officials are not violating the law. Based on what's already in the public domain, there's at least a strong case to be made that Representative Cawthorn violated the Stock Act reporting requirements, as well as potentially engaging in insider trading, according to Dylan Hedler-Gaudet, the government affairs manager for the nonpartisan watchdog organization Project on Government Oversight, adding this, quote, I reminded the expression about something that quacks like a duck, probably being a duck. Well, no kidding. And again, if that's the case, you have 59 other ducks. You might want to look into those people too. Oh, but again, that's establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats, and we don't want to look into them because the establishment tends to always stick with each other, itself. Now, as far as, again, Madison Cawthorn embarrassing the Republican Party, on Tuesday, officers cited him for carrying his loaded 9mm handgun inside of an airport. What a moron. He was also cited but not charged in February 2021 for trying to bring a gun onto a plane in his carry-on luggage at Asheville Regional Airport. So look, this guy's Madison Cawthorn's a troll. He's doing this for attention, obviously, and he's getting it. And Republicans are very, very angry that he's making them look even stupider. Again, it's not just pointing out corruption by actively engaging in it, but just, again, being very, very open about it and just embarrassing. Like, hey, dumbass, you're supposed to do our crime in private so that people don't catch on to it. But you are so openly embarrassing, transparently stupid. You keep drawing attention to the stuff that we do all the time. And now they've had enough of Madison Cawthorn, and now they're trying to get rid of him. To which I say, of course, since there are no good people in this story, let him fight. Let him fight.